So hi guys, welcome to stages 35 and 36 of the Eddie Stobart. Stage 35 is lighting and circuit board, and 36 is start of the rear right mudguard. Not a massive amount to do in the two issues, but a nice couple of issues anyway. So let's see how I get on.
The road from coast to coast, Yorkie and me rolling on. 'Cause a long day's run can be short on fun without Yorkie to help me along.
So this is stage 35. There's only a few components in this issue, which are the printed circuit board. Yeah, I'm just going to tip them out, couldn't get that out. So this is the printed circuit board. As you can see, it's just a circuit board with lots of connectors in them. Can I get a focus? There we go. And that's basically it. Now the next two parts are very similar. The rear lighting, one is left, one is right, and this is the one on the right side. It tells you it's on the right side because we have some cable labels 10 and 11, sorry 10 and 12. And these are, I assume, white lights. And then we have the right hand side is exactly the same. As you can see there, we have labels 11 and 9 and 11. So we're going to need our engine from the previous issue. As you can see, this is the one that I've done. Obviously the last video that I made was the special on it, where I painted it all up. As you can see, I haven't done the front grille yet. I will do a little bit on that later on. So we need to take the printed circuit board 35-1 to check the arrangement of the sockets. Note that one row of sockets is slightly longer than the other. So to have it in the orientation of the magazine, we need to pop it this way round so that the bottom is smaller. So take the engine and radiator assembly from the previous issue and position it so you can access the open side of the base of the radiator housing. So to make it in the same orientation, we need to tip it upside down like this, and we're going to be playing in this area here. Now there's a logical way and there's the Hachette way. So now I would have thought it would have gone in there like so. But for some reason that's not how it goes. You see, you've got this little bit there that looks quite logical. You sit that on top there like so. Don't ask me why. It just looks, to me it looks like it's screaming to go in those little bits, but I can see that it definitely doesn't go in there. So fit the radiator the circuit board into the radiator housing with a longer row of sockets on the open side of the housing as shown. So it needs to go that way round. So then we need to take the front of the radiator 34-4 supplied with the previous issue, fit it onto the open side of the radiator housing 34-1, pegs on the back of the part fit into the sockets of part 31 as indicated. This is a push fit connection, so that goes in like, it's quite hard to see blind actually, there we go. So that's in like so, and that pushes in like that, and it looks like I might have been wrong about the on off switch, but it just looked to me like there was obviously there's a hole there for the wires to come through. But that is it guys, that is the end of issue 34. Nice and short, I say nice and short. Now we still have this piece left over, which is confusing me slightly. So it doesn't even mention that part, you know, it says the summary of the work complete. It doesn't even mention that part. So yeah, so that's definitely it. So we're obviously going to be needing to leave that safe. I would have thought this would have gone into there because it certainly fits okay, and it certainly seems to tell out it's obviously some kind of map, unless that clips in at a later date. So anyway, I'm going to keep that nice and safe. Now the rest of the magazine does explain about a summary of the work completed. I'm going to be honest with you, if you want a summary of the work completed, just have a little look at the previous issues. And I'm going to push that to one side, and I'm going to push these to one side, because I can now tell, looking at the next magazine, that they are not going to be needed. So this is the next issue. This is stage 36, and this is the rear right mudguard. So as always, let's have a little look at the parts. So take those out carefully, and with Hachette, something that's always reassuring for me is a little bag of screws, because then that tells me we're going to be doing something. So let's get rid of the screws first, and the screws are 5 1.8 by 3mm PWB screws. So I haven't got a label for those yet. So what I'll do, as this is the last video, the last issue of this particular video, I'm going to put those in there, and I will label that up later on when I finish doing the video. And you can check up on me if you wish, because we'll be able to see in the next video if I've actually kept to my word. Right, so the parts that we have are quite small and fiddly. Rear right mudguard, plastic. I thought it was metal when I saw it. Very nice actually, with this little black trim on the end. So that goes there. Then we have the front and rear inner connectors for the mudguard, which looks like it's going to be these plastic parts here, and they look like they're clipped on mainly. Then we have part 3603, which is right, so we have front and rear outer connections for, so at this present moment I cannot tell which is which. So this is going to be 2 and 3, and they, from here they look exactly the same, but I'm pretty sure once we actually start to build it, it will become clear which pieces are which. So 36.4 of these tiny bits, end fixing for bar times 2, and they can go there, and 36.5 mudguard mounting bar times 2. So, and so far all of the pieces have been plastic. There we go. And then lastly there's the screws that we've just popped into there. So we're going to begin with taking the rear mudguard. Note that one end has 2 pairs of screw holes. Do you know what, I just picked that up random like that. So we have, that's the end that we're not working with, and that's the end we are working with. And they've circled these screws here, these holes here. It says identify the connectors 36.2, which is there, with slightly larger fixing blocks. So is that the difference? There we go. There we go. So this is the difference between these connectors. So 36.2, if you see on the ends there that I've not hidden up, we've got 2 of them. The 2 middle ones are larger than the 2 on the outside. So I can see that this one and this one is, those 2 are 36.3, that's 36.2 with the larger blocks. And we want to take one of the connectors and fit the round end and rectangular pegs into the corresponding holes at the rear of the mudguard. So it kind of slides downwards and inwards like so. It really is that simple. Okay, and so fit the connector into the rectangular holes on the rear of the mud. So this is the rear, and it's asked us to do both of them. So that doesn't seem to want to fit, which makes me wonder if it is the correct. Right, of course. Sorry guys, I misread the instructions. So piece number 36.2 wants to go on this side, and piece 36.3, a different one, goes in like so. And that's why I couldn't get it in. And I can't get this one in either. There we go. On the one hand, you don't want to push it too hard, because obviously you're worried that if you have got the wrong piece in, you might break it. But that's in absolutely fine. So we want to turn the mudguard over, and you can now see, look, now you know what you're looking for. It's quite easy to tell them apart. So we'll do it as per the magazine. So 36.2 goes in this side, and 36.3 goes in the other side. So one is essentially an inner and one is an outer. So now we turn them over, and you'll see that on the round part there's a screw hole. So what we want to be doing is taking our screwdriver, and on each of those we want to pop this little PWB screw in. Now I call these top hat screws because they look like they've got a little top hat. Some people will call them washer screws because they've got a little washer attached to them. It's actually built into the screw. And some people call them flange screws, and some people say that I can't use that bit because it doesn't fit the screw head. There we go. So on each of these we'll just pop the screw in, and it looks to me, yes, so it looks like you're going to be screwing in at an angle there because you're going in, you're following the line of the connector, not the line of the mudguard. There we go, and that's in lovely. So I think even that screwdriver head is a little bit on the large side, so I'll just switch this over. So we'll just continue with the other three.
I've pounded the road from coast to coast, Yorkie and me rolling on. 'Cause a long day's run can be short on fun without Yorkie to help me along.
Question for you guys: how many times have I got to play that theme tune as my music for Speed It Up? Do I have to play that before you are all fed up of it? I think it's a great song, and it was really nice in the last video to be able to play that in full. Right, so stage 7, fitting the mudguard mounting bars. Now it says to take one of the mounting bars and slot it through the loops in the connectors at the rear of the mudguard. Note the direction in which it's fitted and the position of the rib on the mounting bar. Now I'm holding it this way because I can see on the magazine that the black rim is on the outside. It is towards me, so there's my black bit. So it looks to me like, you see there's a little rib there, so that's going to go in like that, and because of that rib it's only going to go part way through. You see it's not fully engaging, and then what we need to do is take one of these pieces, 36.4, and we need to clip that on there, and that is a really good fit. Really, really good. I don't fully trust push fit connections, but that is probably one of the best push fit connections I've seen. Right, so onwards and upwards. So now we need to turn it over. It depends whether you're left or right handed, but I'm now working this way with the red bit there, and I'm going to push the second connector in, and we know what we're looking for. It's not going to go all the way through, and there's the little nub sticking out, and this end piece again, and that goes in like so, and that is it. So that is 36 complete. So that is not going to rate that. That was 2 very short issues, but there were absolutely no problems with it. If I really was looking for ways to mark that down as a low rating, it's because I can't see how it's going to happen. Obviously I can see how this is going to happen, but you know, this doesn't look like it's not finished yet, really, is it? So I'll give this a B, B plus, A minus, anything in the roundabout there. I think I would agree with your marking system. So next week I just want to explain something to you. In the next issue we have got let me show you 36. So next week we've got parts for the rear right lights and mud flap, and this came up on the Facebook group. Now I kind of feel obliged to repaint this because I've just done all of this and I've painted these rubber, so if they now give me a mud flap, that's got to be painted, isn't it, just to keep consistent. And then in issue 38 there's no work to do, so I need to find something to do to make the video worthwhile. So yeah, that's it guys, that's stages 35 and 36. Let me just move, there we go. So that's 35 and 36. So that is complete, and that is one of the shortest videos I've made in a long time. So I'll catch you next week with paintbrush in hand, possibly screwdriver in hand, but whatever I've got in my hands, I'll catch you later, and one of them will definitely be a coffee. Take care guys.